Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a TvT. It is best of one game. It is between Empire's BratOK, who is of course the red tone in the top left position. In the lower right position we have WF KrasS. Now WF of course stands for Win Fact, those who don't know, KrasS of course a German Terran player, and well, I'm looking forward to this because it's a ladder game. It should be pretty fun, and it's a TvT and I don't cast enough TvTs. Sad face, because I can't even normally find them, so I'm really happy when I do manage to find TvT games because I find them so interesting. I think the strategic movement of units, the way tank lines work and all of that, and the way it's quite a level ramp up in terms of production. There's no way to suddenly flood with units, to be honest. Early rushes aren't really that viable except for like a proxy 2 racks, but it all works out to be really quite interesting. There's lots of different tactics like medevac dropping, the air dominance through Vikings to gain vision for the tank lines, and it's all so fun. Anyway, the map Ahana, what does that really mean? It means the natural is quite easy to hold. The third base isn't too much harder to hold either. There's some nice positioning for tanks as well up on these little ledges up here, just to help cover that ramp as well. You can put some tanks on the ground there. Also, you've got these kind of side bases, which again aren't too hard to hold for Terran, to be honest. So it should be quite an interesting game. I expect it to go quite macro actually, because with some quite close choke engagement points, it's not too easy to move your tank lines. Really, you do have the kind of four main attack paths, I'd say. You've got like sort of down the middle, down the side, and obviously the same on the other end, but not that easy in all really. So we'll wait and see how it all plays out. We've got gas and a barracks on the way out for BratOK. That is compared to just the barracks for KrasS. So that is all good. That is already our first variation. Obviously not getting the gas suggests that it could be a one racks command center build. That is probably the most likely thing we'll see out of KrasS. From BratOK, we will probably see a tech lab thrown down, maybe a Reaper perhaps into a factory quite early. That's another possibility. We'll wait and see really what's thrown down, and there's lots of stuff that can be done, which is always nice. Now, let me say, guys, if you like my casting, please subscribe because I get top level games up every single day of the week. Leave a cool comment, like the video, and also follow me on Twitter, which is of course at MadalsSC2. Send me a tweet, tell your friends about me, that would be awesome. Anyway, looking around the map, we've got the factory coming down, so I was correct in thinking we probably said factory, the command center down, so there's a one racks command center. The double gas follow up from KrasS is the right thing to do, because if you have delayed your first gas a little while to try and get your command center out, try and throw both down at the same time, because if you've got the command center, you're going to have a good economy anyway, so get that gas, catch up in the tech, because that's where you're going to be struggling. You know what, one marine just sitting at the front, obviously the second marine on its way out now. Just taking a look at this map, and well, there's not too much going on at the moment, which of course is all good. We've got the bunker coming down here for KrasS. The bunker's a good choice, to be honest. Interesting positioning of the bunker as well. You do sometimes see players put it a bit further forward. Putting it back here more, I prefer it a bit further forward if I'm honest, because I feel it's just a bit safer. Putting it back more does allow you to be a bit more defensive because it covers your ramp as well, which can be helpful, but I feel just push it forward and don't let them up the ramp at all. But that's again personal preference. We've got the starport coming down now here as well, so the starport may be used to lift the Hellions up into the base, may just be used to give the Marines a bit of healing up, so it's a 1-1-1 type build out of BratOK right now. And looking here, we've got the reactor coming down, the factory coming down, so everything fairly normal. No add-ons at all yet for BratOK, so he is just really hoping this push is going to deal some good damage. But KrasS is in a good position to defend it at the moment, and really his only problem is that the reactor's building, so he has only got those 3 Marines out for the time being. We've got more Hellions moving across the map. How many Hellions do we have? Only the 2 at the moment, but again, those 2 Hellions are really going to help. The problem is the bunker. That bunker needs to get taken down quite easily. There's the switch of the barracks and factory, allowing reactor Hellions to be produced, so 2 Hellions at a time will very quickly allow KrasS to catch up there. Now here we go, we've got the command center coming down for BratOK now, so he will be catching up economically, but in terms of the worker count, we should see KrasS start pulling ahead, to be honest, because it's two command centers against one. He can produce twice as many SCVs as his opponent can, and he is just queuing them up ready, just so not missing anything right there, which is very, very nice indeed. Now, we do have the medevac coming over, but what is it going to be used for? Is it going to be used to elevate up those Hellions? We do have Marines preemptively there, though, so this is quite nice. Unfortunately, it looks like the medevac is just going to come straight up the top to heal up those Marines. Will the bunker get focused down? There's no repair going to get down on time on that at all, and of course, a lot of the SCVs getting picked off. BratOK doing an absolutely amazing push here. The bunker falls, and those, the SCVs are lining up so badly. Those Hellions get quite a few kills. 6 workers killed already. That is going to be extremely frustrating for KrasS right now. And if we take a look here, we've got more Hellions getting picked off. And this is just a good engagement all round. The Marines and Hellions being used very effectively against KrasS here, who is getting some good shots off. And, well, the Hellion v Hellion action is going quite well, but unfortunately, a lot of those Hellions were lining up. The Hellion fight goes in KrasS's favour, but the Marine fight going heavily in BratOK's favour. And now that orbital command is looking to be in an awful lot of problems. And, of course, if we look at the working count, it's now 28 to 24 in BratOK's favour, which is obviously very, very nice indeed. But those Marines are taking quite a bit of damage. Still, KrasS does have that one Hellion out, but only 6 health points, so they have to be very careful. With 2 more Hellions on their way, should be able to clean up this push. The orbital command should survive now as well, and that is really the only rhythm going for KrasS right now. Of course, BratOK does have his own orbital command up now, which isn't the best thing in the world, because it means, well, it is the best thing in the world for him, but from KrasS's perspective it isn't, because it means they're both going to be producing workers at the same rate. A third gas being taken now by BratOK. Of course, just the 2 gas at the moment for KrasS. If we take a look around here, he's got his starport. He's getting a Banshee with Cloak out. There's a second factory following that up as well. So really going to go quite mech heavy, it would appear here. And taking a look at Viking already out at the moment for BratOK. Just going to go and look around, see what's coming. 2 tanks out, a bunker coming down as well. Now we've got the double tech lab coming onto the barracks there. So that'll probably be used for combat shield and stim. That is the most likely thing we'll see out of those 2. And, well, the first Banshee is about to pop out for KrasS here. Cloak is a big investment rather in the Banshee. Banshee alone is quite a big investment, so we'll see how that will work out. But obviously with Viking there, that could be a bit annoying. What is that Viking planning on doing? Just scouting around, just seeing what it can find, seeing if there's any kind of drops coming in or anything like that. Meanwhile, we've got the Banshee coming up the other side of the map. The watchtower being held effectively by BratOK, and I don't know if he did manage to see the Banshee. I don't think he will have done, but it would have been quite close nonetheless. Now we've got the Hellions moving forward. They're going to go and secure the watchtower. Now the aim here, of course, will be to bring units back, allowing the Hellions to come in the front, but unfortunately BratOK has completely walled off his natural ramp. Cloak is about to click into action. Is there any energy for scans? No, there is not. So this Banshee is going to get quite a considerable number of kills. And the important thing is that it gets enough kills to pay for itself. We should see the Marines get pulled back. There goes the Cloak. Now, is it going to target the Marines? It would appear so, as opposed to trying to pick off the SCVs. Because, of course, if you kill the Marines, there's no way to kill the Banshee when the Cloak ends. Apart from that Viking. That Viking is going to be the sad times. Now, the SCVs being focused rather than the Mules. That, I'm not too sure if that's the best thing to do. A scan clearly getting ready to go off right now. And there goes the scan. The Viking does get 2 hits, but doesn't manage to kill the Banshee. That Banshee with 12 kills has definitely paid for itself right now. And BratOK has lost more resources overall in this game. The Hellions still dominating with the map control. The second Banshee on its way in. We do have a Raven coming out here as well now for KrasS, so this is all very, very interesting play. But a missile turret being produced at both the main and natural base, which will inevitably slow things. But, of course, the SCV in the main does get picked up. That means the missile turret will take a while to complete, but when it finally does, it will shut down this Banshee play. And, of course, the missile turret at the natural is already down. We've got an armory on its way here for KrasS right now, who does, therefore, somewhere... Wait, what am I looking for? I can't even remember anymore. 2 SCVs not doing anything. That's a bit of a waste of those SCVs. We do have 4 factories out, so really quite heavily, really heavily on the mech play. Really just mech. That barracks only being used to power add-ons, it would appear. But here comes a very, very powerful traditional composition from BratOK in the form of a couple of tanks, a lot of Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, and Vikings. So really everything he needs to be annoying. If we look at the worker count, 40 to 52, so KrasS does have a big worker lead at the moment. And, well, the only thing really going in BratOK's favour in terms of economically is he is getting that third command centre down now, and his opponent is not doing so. An engineering bay on the way, as well as that armory, which is now just finished. Siege tanks in good positions, the scan goes off, and KrasS not feeling it at the moment, but moving around the side, perhaps he could go for some drop into the main base. That is always a possibility, and it looks like that's what he's going to do. Using the tanks and their siege mode just to really try and hold the position. Shelling all of these factories, all of these production facilities as well should be pretty easy, and moving anything in would be exceptionally dangerous. But here comes the Vikings, the Raven and the Banshee. Will those Marines be able to pick it up in time? It would appear not, but of course the air dominance does look pretty evenly matched for the time being. We've got more Vikings coming out for KrasS though, which will give him the advantage. This is a big engagement right now. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of Hellions just sitting outside BratOK's base, not doing anything at all. The Banshee is cloaked and is going to probably get a tank kill, which is good news for that Banshee, which already has 14 kills under its belt. There's only one Banshee on the field now, the other one was taken out, and of course with a complete wall of those Hellions aren't going to be able to do anything. They are also trapped now. That is bad times. Concussive Shell is finished, Combat Shell, Shield is finished, and of course Stim is finished, so those Hellions are now going to die. All of the units come back, and it looks like BratOK is getting in a position to take his third base. Looking back, we've got great tank spread from KrasS here. He's in a very defensive position, but is turtled up. And while for the moment he does have the worker lead, obviously that third orbital command is now finished and will float down to the third base position very shortly, I would imagine. Now, obviously BratOK does have a lot of units on the field as well, but he has lost nearly 2,000 more resources during this engagement compared to his opponents, so KrasS playing very, very cost effectively. BratOK also saving up quite a bit of money at the moment. Getting Blue Flame out is KrasS, so that'll really allow him to deal with those Marines effectively. A third base trying to be taken now by KrasS, building that command center there. The third base already been taken though by BratOK, so that is going to be a good little advantage. The Hellions do suicide into that force, but of course does give KrasS very, very important scouting information. Now looking here, that Banshee does have, well, 2 HP. If you are going mech heavy, I think it's very important to repair up your units. There's no real excuse not to do so, and it really does make a difference in the long run. Now, looking around here, we do just have more gas being taken by KrasS, more factories being built by BratOK, as well as more barracks. So everything is pretty much okay. BratOK is also getting the +1 infantry weapons upgrade. That is compared to +1 vehicle weapons already finished, and there's an engineering base somewhere which has done nothing at all yet for KrasS. So that is all good. The upgrade's going to be pretty similar, to be honest. Blue Flame, when it does finish up, will obviously make those Hellions very potent, but the Marauder numbers are pretty damn high in BratOK's army, and he really has taken a disliking to those rocks. A massive disliking. Perhaps he's trying to just clear stuff out, maybe preemptively getting ready to take his fourth base. Now, we do have the Hellions moving across. If the Hellions do manage to get in the base, of course, with Blue Flame, that many Hellions can really split it equally between the main and natural base and kill just stupid numbers of SCVs, but still, that doesn't help the problem of this army, which could be a bit difficult to deal with. The tank numbers 10 to 6 in KrasS's favour. The air superiority definitely in KrasS's favour with 12 Vikings to 0, which obviously means those medevacs will not last very long in the slightest. KrasS playing more defensively though. Both players do have their third bases up now. What is the worker count like? 55 to 63 in BratOK's favour. So again, whoever, it's toing and throwing in terms of who has the better income. The supply in BratOK's favour at the moment, but only just more Marauders being produced, and obviously more barracks being produced, more add-ons being produced. The +2 vehicle weapons coming out at the moment for KrasS. That is compared to the +1 infantry armor on the way for BratOK, who does already have the +1 infantry weapons obviously there. So upgrades are going to be quite similar actually. Now we do actually have an interesting position here where KrasS has managed to get between BratOK and his own army. Now if he moves forward and goes forward, we could end up in a base race situation, which would be very interesting indeed. Unfortunately, I believe that BratOK would win that because there's just too much supply taken up in Banshees in Vikings right now, but obviously the tank count is higher, and here we go, we're going to get almost a complete base race, but a couple of tanks on the high ground could really make a big difference, but of course vision being given by those medevacs at the moment. Well, the third base taken out, looking at BratOK's base. There's still just so many units in here, and well, the main base seems to be the target, and we are definitely in a base race situation right now, and there's not much either player can do about it. It's just who can kill the other one off the fastest. And well, the natural base is taken out by BratOK right now. He is moving all of his infantry up, but this is a very, very good move at the moment out of KrasS, who is just sieging up. But of course, this is a good siege up position here for BratOK as well. With 4 tanks now, he should be okay. And of course, there's nothing here at all for KrasS. I mean, he's losing all of his base at the moment, and it's all through that one move where he ended up on the wrong side of his opponent. And well, without a scan or anything, the vision is not there. The tanks get taken out by the far superior numbers, but KrasS has to GG out because he has just lost too much stuff down in his main. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Madals. If you enjoyed the cast, subscribe, like, comment, follow me on Twitter, then flick over to my channel if you want some more StarCraft, because I've got hundreds of games. And if you've watched them all, I'll see you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and bye for now.